Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and many people are deciding finally that they're never voting again. They've finally started to see that this whole thing is a fraud with this amazing amount of voter fraud in broad daylight. People are waking up, and I'm going to share the screen with you here. As this article out of the National File says, I see dead people, at least 21,000 dead people on Pennsylvania voter rolls. And there's a lawsuit. It says a lawsuit filed Thursday call out the fact that 21,000 deceased people remain on the active registered voter lists in the state of Pennsylvania. And as this article says, this felt like a drug deal. Asian American ballot observer in Detroit describes mysterious van dropping off 61 boxes of ballots at 4 a.m. And there's video of this woman being interviewed. And it really is pretty amazing because we have all this evidence of voter fraud, just unbelievable amounts of evidence, and people still say it's debunked in the media. And it's amazing because it really goes to show you, no matter how hard you vote, it doesn't matter. The establishment always wins. They're the people behind the presidents. And at the end of the day, even if someone has some good intentions and good ideas, they're going to get manipulated. And when it comes to re-election, they're going to be overthrown because your vote does not matter. People will say, oh, well, we're only a few thousand off in some cases. It's fraud. You're probably 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000 off, and they propped it up. It's all fake. And it's been this way for a very long time, which leads me to this article that says out of Zero Hedge, I am done. I'll not vote again. One middle American mom rages at real life idiocracy. I'm just going through the highlighted parts of this article. It says, my 1940s born dad raised me to be patriotic and proud, to love the warbird airplanes of his era as much as he does, and to respect our flag and our country as a sacred thing. I grew up thinking that being an American was the greatest gift a person could have. I grew up thinking that our country was as strong and honest and true as my dad. I grew up thinking I was free. As it continues, it says, as an adult, I have witnessed a world I grew up in fall to ruin. I have watched as our elected officials enter Congress as ordinary folks and leave as multimillionaires. Good point. As it continues here, it says, at last calculation, when you consider all of the federal, state, and local taxes, plus registration and user fees, Medicare and Social Security, payroll taxes, almost a third of what my family earns is stolen by the government each year. What's left doesn't go far, just enough to cover the basics and save a little for when the wolf howls at your door. And that's a lower end of things, by the way. There's cases that are up as high as 65% in taxes, and ask Canadians too about that one. As it continues here, it says, I have watched as education, which was already sketchy when I was a kid, became an all-out joke of wholly unmathematical math, gold stars for all, and self-loathing anti-Americanism. I sat by and held my tongue as I was called deplorable and bitter clinger and told that I didn't build that. I've been called racist. I've as many of us have, a xenophobe and a chump and even an ugly folk. I've been told that I have privilege and that I have inherent bias because of my skin color and that my beloved husband and father are part of the horrible patriarchy. And now I have watched as people who hate me and mine and call for our destruction blatantly and openly stole the election and then gaslighted us and told us that it was honest and fair. I will not vote again. They've made it abundantly clear that my voice doesn't matter. Idiocracy is real and we're living it. Dr. Lexis would be an improvement over Fauci. I am done. I am not alone. I'm sure not sure how things continue to function when millions of citizens no longer feel any loyalty to or from the society they live in. And it's true though, because a lot of people are feeling this because they have shamed the average person, the individual that's living paycheck to paycheck, and their paychecks are being ripped apart by the government, and they're told they're privileged, while a bunch of aristocratic scumbags that sit on their thrones in places like Los Angeles and New York talk down to everyone, scoff at everyone alongside their chumps, all the people that watch the media all day and repeat after me, say whatever they say. And then at the end of it, the most important point is that not only does your vote not matter, because no matter what you do, they're going to prop up elections to get their establishmentarianism that they want because it's a distraction. that is the number one issue. It is a distraction because people are looking for government to fix the problems of government. Almost all chaos, they say anarchy is chaos. Almost all chaos comes from government. Millions of dead, stealing most of your money and then saying they're here to help you financially and help you along. We care about you, welfare programs, food stamps, all that kind of stuff. The reason people are in that situation in the first place is because government has ripped apart competition, ripped apart innovation, made it impossible for people to work in this environment, and printed money out of thin air, causing the price of living to skyrocket while stealing your money in other ways more out in the open, while people go, okay, sure, this is for programs and good stuff. Well, you wouldn't need all those programs if it weren't for the fact that they were stealing that money from you in the first place. Your vote doesn't matter because you don't have a right to tell your neighbor what they can or cannot do. You don't have a right to steal your neighbor's money at gunpoint and say, because I have a great idea that I think is better than yours, you have to pay for it. I'm going to extort you and make you pay for this stupid crap that you don't want because I have some stupid idea. You don't have a right over that. It's unethical. It's immoral. It's wrong. And it's like if you and one friend, or say two people got together, two friends got together, and they came up to you and they said, you know, we voted that we want your wallet. And you're like, well, I don't want you to take my wallet. Yeah, but there's two of us. So, you know, majority rule. Democracy is 51% rule in the 49%. Two wolves and a sheep deciding what to have for dinner. It's wrong. And there isn't any justification for it. They always say pragmatism, pragmatism, pragmatism. Pragmatism is inconsistency. Government is organized crime. Taxation is theft. Know it. Take it to the bank. Understand it. The only way for you to be free is to be free, to live by example, to disobey. Do as Henry David Thoreau said. Break free. Take yourself away from the process and rule yourself individually. If only a few percentage of the people did that, people would be free. The whole system would collapse. Voluntary governance would arise. That is something that people need to understand because people keep falling for this over and over again. I've been in this since like 2006, and I've been telling people that since then. Been telling people that under Bush, under Obama, under Trump, and now possibly under Biden, though it could go the Al Gore way where they declare him the winner on the media and then, falls on its head. I don't know. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, when Trump's in office, the right sits on their hands. When Biden's in office, the left sits on their hands. Either way, people don't do anything. They ask the government to solve the problems that the government created in the first place. That's called the Hegelian dialectic of problem, reaction, solution, repeat, and it never ends. So the only way for it to end within your own life is to remove yourself from that process, not vote for someone who says they're going to make it a little bit less bad than that person. The establishment always wins when you vote for the establishment. And when you say, oh, but it's an anti-establishmentarianist running for office, it's an anti-establishmentarianist running for the establishment. You seem to not, a lot of people don't understand that. It's very frustrating. So anyway, I wanted to do this video unedited real quick so I can get it up same day. There's lots of voter fraud information after 4 years of the left going, oh, Russia, 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 you know, they've manipulated the election with no evidence at all and being found to be there for there to be no evidence now. And they never accepted the election. Now they're suddenly saying, oh, you have to accept the election. Stop being childish. It's like, oh, that's rich. That's fucking really rich. That's great. But of course, at the end of the day, left, right, one might be better than the other, but it's a better form of shit. Being beaten once a day instead of twice a day. It's still not right to be beaten. It's collectivism is, it's not left or right, really. It's a circle. It comes full circle. Collectivism is an emotional cult of irrationality masquerading as the solution to the problems that this very masquerade created in the first place. Don't fall for it. Anyways, I appreciate everyone watching. This is a trap. This whole civil war situation is to get people clashing against each other for their form of government, and don't fall for it. It's been the divide and conquer method for ages. It's order out of chaos, my friends, and just be aware. If you're going to fight, fight for yourself, not for some collective. Responsibility is freedom, but freedom is individualistic responsibility. It's very simple. Collective responsibility is better defined as slavery. That's another thing you can't be falling for. Anyway, make sure to hit the like button, hit the notification bell on BitChute. Of course, we were deleted off of YouTube, and we've also been deleted off of Facebook now. So make sure to check the links below for ways you can help support us. We're on BitChute. We're on LBRY/Odysee. We are on Flote.app. And of course, there's GoFundMe, Patreon, Subscribestar. There's Bitcoin, all below in the description. We Can't do it without you folks. We're getting ripped to shreds. A lot of people have just pulled their pledges lately because they don't see us on YouTube and they don't want to go one link over. With all due respect, it's very frustrating. They don't want to go one link over to BitChute or LBRY or Flote. Instead, they're like, oh, well, you're not on YouTube, so why fund independent media anymore? That's exactly what the establishment wanted, and it's really, really frustrating to me. I really appreciate everyone that does pledge and does donate to one of the below links. It makes a huge difference, making it possible for us to keep speaking out and not be silenced and not let our history be burned and rewritten by the victors. Well, you know, we should be the victors, but unfortunately right now we're not so much. But I have optimism down the line as long as we keep spreading the right information, the truth, the ideas of freedom. Of course, we have a newsletter, www.iamband.com. It takes 2 seconds to put your email in there. It doesn't cost anything. There's no spam. Just put your email in there, hit the enter button, and then you're entered into our newsletter, which helps us contact you. And then, of course, we have a Teespring store. We have a whole bunch of stuff below, a CoinTree link, which gives you a bunch of different cryptocurrency addresses you can donate in, including Monero if you want to stay private. Anyway, lots of options below. We really appreciate you watching today. And until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.